Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Okay, so oddly, I want to start off with Kai and Trina, right? Because Trina still feeling sad about the whole, you know, Spencer thing, right? But it's a little more deeper than that. Kai's at the door and he says a couple of words and he's about to sit there and drop off the gift. Trina lets him in, right? So Trina pretty much tells him why she's so sad and upset. Her last birthday was a wreck because Spencer. I don't know if he died, allegedly died on her birthday or around her birthday, but birthdays have just been pretty shitty for her, right? She tells him the reason why, and then she talks. Well, okay. The important part about this is that Kai asked her to talk about Spencer, right? And I think it's very important for a couple of different reasons. Kind of good, kind of bad, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. What's good about it is that, well, it shows that he can hear about her ex without feeling insecure, right? Be honest, there's a lot of guys that will not sit there and want to hear about another woman's ex and vice versa. Most people won't want to hear that. But the reason why I particularly like him asking about her ex is because when she describes him, here's the thing. Your ex, who you're with and who you like or who you love or whatever, tells a lot about you, right? Some good, some bad, but it tells a lot about you. So while she's not there talking about some of the good parts and some of the bad parts, like him being spoiled, entitled, but also being very kind and sweet and stuff, it tells a lot about her. It tells that she could look beyond just some of the annoying stuff with Spencer and choose to see the good. Says that she has a lot of patience and so forth. So, it's one of those things where it's like he got to know a lot about her by her talking about her ex, right? And see, that's the good stuff. Okay? That's the good stuff. So I give him points for that. I don't know shit about chemistry. I'm not even going to bother to try. I know people sit there and say they don't have chemistry. Okay, whatever. See, the problem, I guess, again, talking about Spencer is just talking about how much this character lacks, right? Lacks. There's no layers with him, you know? He's a football player. Okay, that's cool. He doesn't look like one, but okay, sure, this is a soap opera. We don't know anything about his family. We never seen his family or anything like that. With Spencer, again, he was a very complex character. And even when he wasn't with Trina, he still had his own stuff going on. He was in jail, he was dealing stuff with his dad, and of course, he was dealing with his crazy ex girlfriend. So he had a lot going on. He had layers, and this is something when they bring up Spencer, and we're seeing Kai, it's like it's just such a downgrade. Now, don't get me wrong, there is time to fix that. Rather, GH wants to put in the time and the effort into building this character is up to them. But Spencer was more of an easier character in a sense because he already came from a very eccentric family, and because of that, it made him a lot more eccentric and things that I didn't like about him, things that I did like about him. I mean, hell, let's just put it this way. As much as I despise that character, and I'm sitting there thinking about what I'm watching, I'm like, there was a point where Portia was so out of pocket that I found myself defending Spencer, and I'm like, oh my god, like, are you kidding me at this point? I'm just like, what are we doing? But that showed a certain level of layers. So That was the bad part about bringing up Spencer. Um, I didn't really care for the scenes with Tracy and Sasha and Gio and Brooklyn and Chase, talking about, there's one point Brooklyn's like, she's fierce, she's this, she's that, she's protecting the family name. Don't give me that. The family name has been through mud way before Drew has actually showed up to town. So let's not sit there and try to act like she's protecting the name of the family. Like, don't do that. We're not gonna do that. Don't do that. But it does show layers in her, as far as you know what Drew is doing, as far as even threatening to move the family crib. Which again, I'm like, your son is also there. What are we doing? Um, Now Tracy is like, I have an appointment. So Gio talks for a little bit. They all smile at Gio because he stands up to Tracy, and Tracy respects that. Okay, cool. While Marty is not there talking to Laura, they get a knock on the door. It's Anna. And Anna's there with a U.S. Marshal to arrest um, Marty for back payment and alimony. Apparently, he made some money. He didn't declare it. And he gonna be going to jail. He gonna be extradited back to wherever, California or something. Tracy comes in there, and long story short, Tracy's like, "Yeah, I did it. Yeah, because you were helping Drew." And the place that apparently he's gonna be sent to is going to be the mean ex-wife, not Blair, the mean one. Now he's all scared. Laura's in there trying to talk to him. Talked to Tracy to calm her down. And then Martin just kept going. And at that point, they just arrested him. And Martin's that they're looking at Laura. Laura's like, "What do you want? I mean, I was getting through, and then you decided you wanted to start talking. So, I mean, what do you want? You did this to yourself. And to be fair, you did do this to yourself. You got married 3 times, or 4 times. Like, what was you doing, bro? Like, at that point, after the second marriage, you should have just been dating and hooking up, okay? Because clearly marriage was just not a course for you. So you did this to yourself. Um, Now Brooklyn is upset because Gloria knew and she didn't know. She didn't know that Gloria knew. She was upset. She was like, I don't like when people lie to me and keep things from me. Really, Brooklyn? Really? And then she was like, oh, I'm doing the same thing to you. Well, at least you're self-aware about that. That's something. You're still annoying, but at least you're self-aware, so I'll give you a point for that. But then, long story short, she does sit there and say who the baby's father is. She says it's Dante, and you know, he just has a look on his face, and he's shocked. He's shocked and surprised, and you see the previews. He's pissed, pissed off. I don't know. I don't. I don't know why he's that angry. See, this is the part where it's so out of pocket for me because it's like you've been married for years, at least a couple of years, 2 or 3 years. She just suddenly tell you that she had a child. That's something I would have been mad about, right? That's something I wouldn't have like ended the relationship, but I would have been mad about. He was like, oh, okay, all right. Well, I'm glad you told me, and I see where you're coming from. But because it's Dante, now it's just like I can see him being upset to some extent. Like, I got to tell him, right? Boys, we cops, we're partners. I gotta sit there and tell him. Like, you put me in this very awkward position where it's like, what, I gotta lie to him now? But you seemed like he was just more upset about it. Like, it seemed like now we're upset. The secret part, nah. But the Dante part, that's the okay. All right. Um, Sonny and Jason wasn't really talking about anything. that I would sit there and say noteworthy. I mean, they were just pretty much debriefing each other on stuff. Until towards the end. So, Valentine poisoned the champagne, right? And it was only until after Jack was about to take a sip and he was looking at the wine because Carly was sitting there saying, like, well, this is not a normal, typical wine. Maybe Olivia ordered it. Carly, what part of the hotel do you manage? Because I mean, it clearly wasn't the windows because you got pregnant women just like falling out. So like, what do you mean you don't like you've never seen this wine before? And Jack realized that it was a label that was just put on there. So he knocks the cup out of her hand, but at that point she already ingested it. And she starts getting sick. They take her to the hospital. Willow at this point she wants to call Sonny and Jason. And he says, "No, you're not going to do that." And he imposes some sort of national security thing, like I'm imposing my power, whatever, and you can't say anything. I'm like, why? And he found, long story short, they find out that she has polonium poison. I think that's what it was. So, like, she's screwed. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what Luke got poisoned with, through his earring. Um, Towards the end, Jason came back, and I think Sasha had to sit there and talk about the baby or something, about Michael's baby or something. I have no idea. Um, yeah, I think that's actually about it. Oh, and towards the end, like I said, Valentine, after poisoning Carly, goes back to the house to get passports and stuff, and runs into Sonny with a gun. Uh, Valentine, I thought you was like really good at like espionage and sneaking in and things of that nature. Did you really just think that that house is still unsold? Now, at first, I thought that Martin went to jail because, helping out Valentine. I thought that's why he was going to jail for. No, it's just some alimony stuff with some ex-wives, and maybe he just needs some time away. Like Jocelyn needed some time away to some extent, which why we didn't see her that much. We didn't see her on her birthday or anything like that. I mean, on Trina's birthday. So I don't know, but before I do go, and I think it's going to be 9 o'clock because that's when Ed at the bank said 9 o'clock. And play a little game, trivia pursuit between Ed the bank and Jonathan L. So ask them like maybe 10 questions or whatever, and as the audience, I don't want y'all to actually say the answer. If you know the answer and they're struggling, I'm only giving them like 30 seconds. Y'all can give them hints. Right? Don't give them the actual, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't give them the actual, like, whatever the movie or the show is. But give them hints if you want to do that. Or just sit there and say you know what the answer is. Um, I'm kind of beta testing it for something else, so I figured I would sit there and do that between both of them because they're like really good as far as like if I don't know something about a particular show or whatever, boom, like they just come up with the quickness. And Jonathan, I mean, that's my Michael Barnes, my Victor Newman. So Ed, smart man. So, but that'll be at 9 o'clock. So we'll sit there and talk about the soaps, and then after the little game, we'll sit there and continue to talk about the soaps or whatever. But just want to sit there and give a heads up. I've been planning that for a hot minute, and should be fun today. And of course, we'll talk about the soaps as well. Anything that I missed in this video, we'll sit there and talk about that. Also, I did try something different for my Beyond the Gates video. I got inspired by Cat Lady. So if you saw that video, and the way I did that video, would y'all want a video like that for General Hospital? I don't know if I'll be able to do it all the time because There was a certain amount of time that I did have to put into that video to do, but it was a little fun, a little different to sit there and try that out. So let me know in the comment section about that as well. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video, hopefully tonight.